Hi everyone, I hope that you're having a wonderful day today. As I said last week, I was spending a lot of time here at Archbishop Curley High School in quarantine. I've been walking around a lot, looking at some of these signs around campus. I wanted to share with you another quote from St. Francis today and how it really impacts me. This is a very famous one where St. Francis says, "Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible." Now, this quote really speaks a lot to me personally. It was 10 years ago, just around this week, that I was first invested in the Franciscan Habit and entered what we call the novitiate, which is that year in which we go and we pray and discern in a more of a solitary way and within community about how God is working in our lives, and kind of Franciscan boot camp, if you will. And I remember the day that I got the habit, and I kind of thought I was young. I was only 20, I think, at the time, and I thought, wow, as soon as I get the habit, I'm going to be somehow changed and I'll be perfect like St. Francis. And I remember one of the most difficult days for me is when I first got the habit at my investiture, and I didn't change. I was still the same Chris that I was the day before. I thought, what to do? I'm called to be a friar. I'm called to follow an example of St. Francis. How can I do that? And I remember that year learning that I need to do what's necessary. To say my prayers, I need to wash the dishes, I need to learn about St. Francis, read about his life, and so on and so forth. I need to get up in the morning and try to live the day the best that I can. And I found that after a while, I began to do what's possible. I began to expand my horizons a little bit and go beyond just the necessities of each day and start to go outside of my own comfort zone, but was still possible for me at that time. And I really began to grow. And I really saw how God was beginning to really work in my life, from not only doing what's necessary, but then doing what's possible. And I think today, about 10 years after that day that I got the habit, I've done a lot of things that I thought at that point would have been impossible. I've done all of these studies. I've taught for 3 years at a high school, which I never thought that I would be doing so long, doing campus ministry. I went and I learned Spanish and I learned Italian. I spent 3 years in Italy, which I never thought that I would have done. I have met so many people and have been in so many different situations that, thinking for myself, coming from a small town in Massachusetts, I thought it would have been totally impossible. However, following God in my life and his workings, relying on him, starting off doing what's necessary, going to what's possible, I have been able to do what I thought was impossible, but only trusting in God, not trusting in myself, not trusting in a piece of cloth, but really what this symbolizes. That I'm called to, as we see in the habit, like a cross, to die to ourselves and allow God to work through us. And if we are able to do that, we can all do the impossible. So today, what's necessary? But then maybe start doing what's possible. And then with God's will, we'll also be able to do what we think today is impossible. God bless you. I hope that you have a wonderful day.